Hello all, another video today. Oh, my hair, it's like Frizzy City. I'm on my way home and it's light out. Staying lighter longer. And I think they said by February something, sunset is like, I want to say 6 something, just after 6. I could be wrong on that, but this is what I don't get. I'm in the food store and people are stocking up and they're, which fine, stock up on your snacks, your, staple foods, but the ones that are stocking up on all these items that need to be refrigerated, like let me get 3 gallons of milk. Let me get like 10 yogurts. Let me get, whatever. There's some things, meats, and they're getting all this stuff. There are some things you can put in a cooler with ice. Yes, I agree, if you lose power. But that's what I never got. Let's go to the store, stock up on items. Now, I don't think we're going to lose power. But they're buying enough stuff, and I'm guilty of it back when my kids were little. What I would do is when they were little, I would cook. So yes, and I would containers and make individual meals, and I would cook. Oh, cook the whole day. It snowed. My kids, I'd shovel in between. If the ex was working, if he was home, I was cooking, he was shoveling. The kids would shovel, and I would tell the kids every hour, let's go outside. Let's go outside. If you do it every hour and keep up with it, then it's not going to, you had to step on the gas there, dope. You know what? Sorry. Guy gassed it, as I'm there. But I would cook and I'd make them meals and freeze them, and it was probably 2 weeks worth of meals. So yes, I see that. But other people, which I've done this, I'm buying enough snacks for a week for one snowstorm. Now we're getting anywhere from 1 inch to 6 inches. I'm hoping for like 4, that I get to go home early and I can organize my clothes. Force myself to organize my clothes because I have nothing else to do. I did a little last night, but excuse me. Why every time I'm talking to you guys, I'm yawning? Don't know. So I would buy like the big, huge club size Doritos, the big, huge club size, white cheddar popcorn, the big, I must have bought probably 6, 8 big bags like that. Ice cream for the kids, the block cheese, so they could have cheese and crackers, apples. I would go to Costco and get the big, huge peanut butter. Even though we had 2 things of peanut butter, like, you're going to run out. Like, in 24 hours, you're not going to need all that food. But, like I said, I was guilty too when my kids were younger. The only thing I could justify is I buy a ton of vegetables, a ton of tomatoes, lasagna noodles, chicken, big, huge pack of chicken. I would buy chopped meat and ground beef, whichever you call it, ground sausage, ground pork to make my meatballs. And I probably made at the least 100 meatballs, sometimes 200. And I would put them in containers because that would be a meal. And then in another container would be a container of sauce. That would be enough for a meal. And that's when we'd have, ziti and sauce and meatballs or spaghetti. I mean, I'm saying 2 weeks worth of meals, probably a month's worth of meals. Because we had a freezer downstairs in our laundry room. I do not know why I am yawning so much all of a sudden. Maybe it's because it's getting dark. Who knows? But it's silly. It's silly. It's not like it's the blizzard of 96. That's when my son was supposed to be christened, which he didn't. And he has stuff because people got stuff engraved. So he has stuff engraved for the wrong date. So it's not like it's a blizzard and you're not going to get out for a week. The most is what, 2 days? I mean, Sandy, again, stock your refrigerators, or some people refrigerator and freezer, and they lost power and they don't have generator and they lost all kinds of stuff. And it's like, are you kidding me? I went to Costco like 3 days before Sandy. And I was a little upset because not until the next day after I went to Costco did I know how bad like they were predicting it to be, and that we might lose power, and we did. But we cooked as much as we could on the barbecue and put it in coolers, the meat. We cooked like anything that was in the freezer that would get defrosted. We cooked. I tried to cook. I mean, I put an aluminum pan, the deep dish pans that you usually put in like sternos or something. I put chicken nuggets on that and put it on the grill just to cook them. And then when the kids wanted to eat them, heat them up until we ran out of propane. And then I think by the time we ran out of propane, it was only like 2 days before we got electricity back. So, because we had a backup propane tank. So we had two. Well, that's one thing we did, filled the propane, and we had a backup one that we filled also. So we were pretty good there. Did I throw some food out? Yes. But, I'm taking, this is Coke Zero, Cherry Coke Zero. Maybe the little bit of caffeine will, I don't know, keep me from yawning. But yeah, so that kind of cracks me up, that people run out and buy a week's worth of food. And that's what people were listen, I get if there was a lot of senior citizens in there. I get a senior citizen that is going to buy a week's worth of food for a snowstorm. That I get, because maybe they don't do too good in the snow. Maybe they don't like to drive in the snow, walk in the snow, whatever, or it's going to be too cold for them. I get it. But again, there was also moms in there buying. There was also one guy, must be single. He was buying, he went out of there he had in his cart so many munchies. And is this opened? They opened the steakhouse? Munchies, milk, which had a half gallon, so I get it, and it was organic. I'm sure the other snacks looked like they were kind of, all natural snacks. And he had several other things, but again, I couldn't really see too well what they were because they were covered. I don't think he went overboard. Maybe, well, he had 4 bags of snacks, so maybe. But if, he doesn't have to go out for a couple of days, yeah. And I discovered the other night when I was talking to my friend, I'm like, oh, I really want something to munch on. The only thing I had was Cheez-Its, extra toasty. Don't know if you had those. I like when I reheat pizza, I mean, even regular pizza, just a regular pie, I'd love to tell them crispy. Elio's, my kids love Elio's. So occasionally I'd be like, all right, I don't feel like cooking. I know there's Elio's in there. I'd put it in the toaster oven and it would be kind of black on top a little bit. Not burnt, but extremely well done. Because that's the way I like it. So, chicken nuggets, very well done. If they have a little black here and there, I'm good. But trying to get away from meat. I'm trying to go plant-based. So I don't know if I'll get to the store tomorrow. I am looking for this cheese, and I meant to look in Dearborn, but it was just too crowded. I meant to look in Dearborn for this cheese. It is a plant-based cheese, and these people put it, the one cheese, I think it's made with cashews, I want to say, and other things. And I want to say that, well, I know on the show, unless they paid these people, they were in New York. They put the cheese, like they made, I guess, vegan bread, sauce, and they put this cheese on and they cooked it. And then they handed it out to people. And they were like, oh, this is good. Oh, And they said, it's all vegan. And they were like, what? So they were shocked that it was vegan. That it was, non-dairy, all this. So I don't know that I could be vegan. But I am trying to get away from dairy because I have this rash that I thought was from the Tamiflu. But now I'm thinking my sister has on her face or this eczema. So I'm like, oh, is it eczema? Because this is itchy. And they told her gluten-free and dairy-free. So I'm trying to get away from the dairy after watching so many specials on meat and ground beef, regular beef, chicken, and pork. Oh my gosh, the pigs that they raise and the disgusting, and how in North or South Carolina, I forgot, and these people, they'll wash down something or other and it goes all over their clothes. And the one mother said they were outside and they're like, oh, it's raining. No, it is feces, mixed with water, and that is just disgusting. And this company is from China, and they won somewhat, and I'm like, oh my God. So, and I heard on the radio, and I couldn't even believe that I am hearing these words. It said, I don't know if it's Hong Kong, Japan, China, I'm not really sure, and I apologize, and I'm not trying to group them all together. I just don't remember because They said something about China. They said something about Japan. So I'm not really sure. They were talking about different countries and different things. And it is now illegal. They've passed a law, get this, that it's illegal to serve dog meat to humans. You really have to have a law to tell people that you can't do that? And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? You have to make a law to tell people to not serve. You shouldn't be killing dogs, first of all, and you shouldn't be, oh my God. Some people feel, okay, we killed the deer, so why wouldn't we kill? No, I am not for that either. And if you are, I'm sorry. My friend one time gave me this chili, and then said, and I was like, then after he gave it to me, he told me that it was made with venison. And I had a hard time to try it, but I was like, all right, to me it was tough. It was gamey. The only word that comes to mind that I can think of. I really wasn't a fan. And I don't know if it's the way he cooked it or what, but I really wasn't a fan. And I really only took a couple bites, and then I was like, it went in the garbage. And I would never eat it again. Never. Like, and then some people say, well, do you eat fish? Because there's some people that are pescatarians. I'm probably saying it wrong. My sister-in-law, her sister is a pescatarian, I think it's called. And she eats fish. So somebody's like, well, you kill a deer, but you don't care about that lobster or that shrimp, and I'm like, oh my God. So I'm gonna slowly, I'm trying to get away from meat, and then from there slowly, I want to do away with dairy, get away from meat, and then slowly get away from the fish. And I don't know that I can, because I like fish, but they say there's all these chemicals, and it's food what's killing us. And I don't know that that's true, because in another 5 or 10 years, it's this, and they're saying we really don't need dairy. That the milk was made for the calves to drink their mother's milk, not us. So, I don't know. And I do like feta cheese. And it's easier on my stomach. And they say goat's milk is easier. But again, I'm trying to get away. I don't know if goat's milk is dairy. I couldn't tell you, and I feel stupid that I don't know that, but I don't. It's cheese, so cheese to me is dairy, but it's made with goat's milk, so I don't know. I mean, it probably has milk in it too. So, but yes. So I'm just trying to eat healthier, and there is so many of these people that are like, I had cancer, I had that, went to a plant-based diet, and what the hell are you doing? Oh my God, you're letting this guy out? And we're going to get slammed from the people coming across the highway, idiot. Oh my God. So they switched to a plant-based diet. They went with, this one girl didn't even go through chemo. And she's alive and well. And, she did go through surgery for most of, her cancer, but there's some they couldn't get. And she went to a plant-based diet. And it kind of makes sense because my grandmother said, God bless her, this is my grandmother who lived to 101. She started having a heart attack in her 50s. Well, she started looking into different vitamins and things because she didn't want to take all kinds of medicine. So, she took so many vitamins each day. Vitamin for this, vitamin for... She lived to 101. So, she ate overall healthy. She wasn't a big meat eater. She did like a Whopper Jr. once in a while. But she really wasn't. She was more fish. Red meat, not a big red meat eater. But she liked her chicken. We ate a lot of different pasta type dishes in her house. I never had a weight problem when I lived with my grandmother. Never. And I'm wondering, we would have dessert with dinner, and then we would have a snack before bed, and it was usually ice cream. And it was one little scoop of ice cream. But again, I wasn't a big ice cream person, but I looked forward to that because, we can have ice cream before we go to bed. And so I wonder, like I said, my grandmother limited her red meat. Like, she really didn't eat much red meat at all. If we went out to dinner, she usually ordered a fish dish. And this guy's gonna get pissed because I'm not turning. And come on, dude. I thought this guy was going faster than what he was. But she ate a lot. She would almost always order fish or a pasta dish, and it didn't have meat. She wasn't a big meat eater. She wasn't big into sandwiches. She served us a lot of peanut butter and jelly. So we didn't have a lot of cold cuts growing up. I don't remember really ever having cold cuts. Cheese sandwiches. Of course, those cheese with the, individually sliced, which I could not stand. But I remember even on a Sunday, we'd have a ham, or she'd cook a chicken, or she would cook a turkey for dinner, Sunday dinner. I don't remember meatloaf. I really don't remember meatloaf in her house. So I could be remembering wrong, but don't remember it. So, but yeah, so maybe there is something to that. And I don't know. Can I stick to it? I don't know, because bacon is yummy. But I'm going to try. And some people have, just from a plant-based diet, what is this person doing? From a plant-based diet, have lost weight. So I'm not so concerned about that because I need to get my butt to the gym. And there was a study of these twins. I forget how many twins, 20, 40, I want to say 40s, 43 or something. And they gave identical twins, and they're the only thing for genetics. One had a plant-based diet, and one had carnivore. I think omnivore, whatever the hell it's called. You know, a meat diet. Both had the same exercise plan, and the plant-based people had more muscle and less fat at the end. Most of them. Some of them, they felt the plant-based diet, they were eating the same amount of calories each, and the plant-based diet people, some of them felt it was too much food. Even though it was the same calories that their twin with the meat, and I guess theirs was less. So some of them didn't do as well. They said, oh, I felt like it was a lot of food and whatever. And the whole thing is, and people have said this, that you need to eat small meals throughout the day. So that's going to be another thing. I'm going to try to cook up stuff and do things that, and my girls' night, I'm not telling these people, but I am going to make several things plant-based. And my sister is gluten and dairy free, so these will be gluten and dairy free. Oh, that dog has a light on it. So there's that. So, I am so sorry. At least it's coming up, but it's annoying. Yeah, so, and the other thing is that diabetes, they're like, it's not caused by sugar. It's caused by many different things. Carbs and this and that. And they went on and on and on. It's not sugar. Like this one person, you know, the doctor, I guess, told him that, you know, he's pre-diabetic. And he stopped. He ate everything sugar-free. First of all, sugar-free isn't always good, because my son is hypoglycemic. He's low blood sugar. And he turned around and the sugar alcohol was sending his sugar wacky. So sugar-free isn't always good for people. So this guy was eating everything sugar-free, not putting sugar in anything, nothing changed. And the doctor's like, you need to change your diet. Like, he was still eating his meat. He was still eating his bread and this and that. And he's like, oh, I'm eating all sugar-free. I'm not putting sugar in my coffee. And I'm not, I'm drinking diet soda now. And like, no. So it's, one said that the pharmaceutical companies want people to be unhealthy because they wouldn't make money if people were eating healthy. And they said, if you think you can't eat healthy on a budget, you're wrong. And so they're like, you can. And they showed, I want to say it was in Greece, this little island, and the people were not, and the things that they ate were rich in protein and vitamins and everything that you needed, and it didn't cost a lot. So I'm going to research tonight, actually, eating healthy on a budget. Well, eating vegan on a budget, and see what I come up with. So there are some really delicious recipes. I've made recipes with tofu. And I mean, some people out there might be like, tofu. I've made recipes, and my son is hosting the next time we have dinner, but I'm going to tell him I want to come over early, and I am going to grill up some tofu here, because you grill it up before you soak it. They say freezing it is the best, and then defrost it, and then squeeze all the water out. Yes, I've done a lot of research on this. And crumble it up, and I can put, the seasoning, whatever, and put it, and they tell you how to season it, and then put it in the crock pot. So I'm going to pretend, because you kind of put it together and then put it in the crock pot and let it cook. So I want to see if they eat it or not, and what they have to say. If they like, oh, this tastes funny, or that. If it's a total disaster, I will order pizza. But I don't see it being a total disaster. And dessert. I'm going to make a vegan dessert. And I'm going to say, Jake, you can eat this. So I'm going to do that for girls' night too. I'm going to make some dessert things. I think 2 things. But I am home, and my bladder is yelling at me. Probably my dog's probably going crazy in there. But look at how it's just getting dark now. I mean, I'm sitting under a light, so in the parking lot. But this is how dark it would be at 4:30 when I left work. So, and it's 5:30. So, staying lighter longer. So I'm glad for that. All right. So I'm going to, when I cook this first, attempt at a vegan meal, I'm going to videotape it, because I got a phone holder. So there we go, people. All right. I will talk to you later. Bye.